What you got to say to the camera?
It wears you out.
One silver star, 2 bronze stars, 3 purple hearts. Stick around and hear their story. For those that know that are from upstate Michigan, this happens to be the Mackinac Bridge. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. Because these guys right here, First Sergeant here, and then Miss Jeannie back there, they know exactly what this is. They've been over this thing a million times. And I'm telling you right now, that is ice on top of that. We're not in a plane looking down over the clouds. Wow. For all of you people down there worried about temperatures, in the 40s, this is what they have to deal with. But anyway, it's beautiful up here, isn't it? This is something that Gator does for all the neighbors in the neighborhood. He has this tractor. He went out and purchased this with his own money, and he goes out and he helps clear the driveways and the roads and things of that nature up here in Gaylord, Michigan, within his neighborhood, of course. His neighbors depend on him, and I'm telling you what, he does a service. He doesn't charge a dime. He loves doing it. He loves helping people, but this is him in his tractor.
Good morning. I am Gator, retired First Sergeant Howard at 101st Airborne. My beautiful wife Jeannie to my right. We'd like to welcome you to our home up here in Gaylord, Michigan, where we have a lot of snow, and Mr. Vaughn, who has grown to be like a brother to me, has blessed us by coming up here to visit with us and do this recording. And we just wanted to share what's going on in our lives and what it's like to be a retired veteran and have, for those of you that don't already know, a terminal illness that I have. I have esophageal cancer, and I'm on hospice. And there's nothing really they can do except for the good Lord Jesus Christ is in hands to take care of me. And if it wasn't for my beautiful wife spending every blessed moment to feed me and with a feeding tube and help me get dressed and bathed and take care of me, I don't know what I would do without her. She's my godsend. And we just wanted to share a little bit of our lives with you, and hoping that maybe we can bring some joy to someone else's face, or smile and understanding as to what you're possibly going through with your problems and trials and trivias in your lives. And with that said, I would like to let my wife say what she would like to say on that subject.
Well, I have to say, number one, it's an honor to serve a veteran. I had limited experience being around veterans growing up. My father was a veteran from World War II. Talked about it some, but not a whole lot. So when I met Gator, it opened up a whole new world for me, and just the respect that the other veterans give each other, the support they give each other is mind-boggling to me, because it doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter their situation, they're bonded by both, serving in the military. And is it hard being a wife of a veteran? Yes, it is. Especially if they have a little baggage, PTSD, whatever. There's been many ups and downs, but fortunately we both believe in the good Lord, and He's blessed us with the ability to get through things and appreciate each other for who we are, and just continue to love each other and support each other. Well, before we met, I had previously been married for 30 years, and my first husband passed. So I had been single for about 4 years, and finally decided it was time to start looking for a companion, somebody to do things with. I was lonely, so I did what a lot of the younger generation does. I went online, and there was a few, that I talked with, whatever, but never really attracted to anyone. And then I saw Gator and in his camouflage, sitting in his camouflage chair, and we talked several times and really seemed to click, and so we met. He brought me flowers the very first time we met, and we just clicked. I mean, he was a perfect gentleman, all his military manners, and I was very impressed with that. You don't see that every day. He had that southern charm, growing up in the South, and interesting with his background with the military and all the places he'd been in his life and things he'd done, and it was just opened up a whole new world for me. So we met, and 2 years later we were married, and we've had a crazy life. We've done lots of things. Never a dull moment, for sure.
Well, with that said, the night we met, you were talking about your weed eater not working, your electric Black & Decker.
Because you told me you fixed things, so.
Well, I did. I do. So I said, okay, well, I can go by your house and take a look at it. So we left. Where we met at was the ridge up there at the golf course, right around the corner here.
Yeah.
And I took one look at it and said, throw that thing in the garbage.
My weed eater, yeah.
Yeah, and the next day I brought you a 40-volt Works battery-operated weed eater.
Yeah, you did.
Then you learned how to use that, and then our second date, you were using a handheld electric leaf blower you plug in to blow all the leaves on the property, and then we got a big property, folks. a lot of leaves, and I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna work. So I lived in Mayo, which was about 45 minutes away south of here on what they call the Asabo River. For those of you that have heard of it, it's famous for the annual canoe race, where they actually do a 24-hour canoe race down the river nonstop. And I lived right on that river, had my own home, and boats, docks, the works, everything. And so I was on my way home, and I go by the Amish place, houses, and they were having a yard sale, and I stop, and I find a really nice small backpack leaf blower, gas powered. I thought, well, that would be right for a lady to use, So I buy it, I bring it over. That was her second thing she get for our date. So I buy her a weed eater and a leaf blower.
And flowers. Started with flowers.
And flowers the first date. Then what did I buy? What did I get you after that? It was something else.
There was something else. I can't remember.
I forgot. So anyway, we went on, and we enjoyed each other's company. We started dating more. She would come to my house. I'd come to her house. So we did that for about 2 years. And then finally I started staying over here more to the point to where I got rid of my home over there on the river and basically moved in with Jeanie. And, well, then the fun began. Because everything you would look at was broken, need fixing. This needed fixed, that needed fixed, this needed done.
My house really needed him.
So, like one day she'd go to work. I would get up in the morning and I would drive her to work and make sure she had her lunch, and I'd go, whatever I was doing that day around here, I would stop in time to go pick her up from work. And we were like young adults again, and we felt happy and energetic, and And really, we did. We had a lot of fun back in the early days.
Yeah.
And then we turned around and bought a fifth wheel.
Yeah.
Well, we bought our first camping trailer, and we took off, and we went up to the UP of Michigan, and we stayed up there for about 2 weeks, just traveling around different campgrounds, different parts of the state, enjoying what God's beauty, provided for us, and to be able to experience it. And then we decided to go ziplining at our age. So finally, about 2 years went by. It come time to me to think about making a serious decision in my life. And it was Christmas time, and my dog was still alive. She's resting comfortably on the mantle over there now. But Snowball was all I had was a companion. And between Snowball and I, we managed to get engaged on Christmas. But to back that up just a little bit in the story, Jeanie never learned to protect herself with a firearm. So I thought that being military, and carrying a firearm and bearing firearms myself and owning them, I wanted to make sure that she knew how to operate them properly and use one. So we went shooting pistols and everything, and finally found the right one that fit you. Well, you picked it out.
Mm-hmm.
So what did I do? Now, how many guys think about this and don't do like I did? Don't buy your future wife a gun and then ask them to marry you. Okay? That is not the proper way to go about it. All right? So don't make that mistake. All right? But we have since bought a bigger fifth wheel. We pulled all over the country. We bought a smaller fifth wheel. And we were basically the only place we went was go down to North Myrtle Beach and stay by our buddy Vaughn. And Vaughn's like a brother to me. He's my little brother. I'm his big brother, and he's my little brother. And that's what we call each other. And we had the opportunity to meet him, Vaughn, back in 2020
or 21.
21. We were down in North Carolina at Fort Bragg. Yes, I did say Fort Bragg now, not Fort Liberty. And we were down there for our friend John Trumbull, who got promoted to major, which Vaughn has spoke of many times. And I turned around and had the opportunity to go fishing and meet Vaughn and go fishing with him on his charter. And we built a bond that was unbreakable. We clicked. I mean, it's like we got on the boat and Vaughn goes, "Oh, you know what you're doing." And he just leave me alone. He just take care of Jeanie. But Jeanie catch little bitty fish, and he says she suck a big time.
We suck a big time.
But then as the years went, we started, like I say, with the new fifth wheel. We would go down there and stay in the campground by Vaughn's house, and we'd go down there for months at a time, weeks at a time, and visit with him and enjoy his friendship of him and his wife and all of his friends down there. And really enjoyed it. And I hope to do that again someday, but, go back down. Then we decided this last summer, amongst all of the other crazy things we have done at our age, take her axe throwing. She's ridden horses on the Atlantic Ocean, which a lot of people don't get to do.
Which was amazing.
doing fishing on Bond's boat and doing restauranting with Bond and going different places with him and Mo, and we've just done so much. It's unreal that I got a wild hair up my butt, and I bought a Harley Davidson trike motorcycle. And so her and I last year, we put 4,000 miles on it alone, just traveling around up here in northern Michigan, enjoying all of the beautiful sights that God has provided. And we try to live life. I'm not going to say the fullest, because we're not doing the glamour, go out and stay in a fancy hotel and run to a casino or something like that. We just do down-to-earth things, things that you enjoy and you remember longer. You know, for instance, while we were in North Carolina the first time, Jeanie jumped out of an airplane. She's scared of heights. I put her in the wind tunnel, and you enjoyed you laughed your butt off on that.
I laughed, yeah.
And then I had a buddy of mine who is an ex-Golden Knight, 101st, take her up, and she jumped at 13,500 feet. And I got a video of it, and she laughed the whole time. I mean, she wasn't scared a bit. But at our age, to be able to still get out and do things like this, and it's amazing, because and more people need to do it. You need to get off your butt, get off that bar stool, especially. That bar stool does not solve any problems whatsoever. I don't give a flip what your problem is, medical, physical, whatever, marital. It does not solve the problem. Get off of it, look at the Lord Jesus Christ, and ask Him for forgiveness for your sins. And try to start your life over. You're never too old to start your life over. I never thought that at my age, being married for the first time to her and doing the things we're doing, that I could start my life over. I never thought that she could teach me how to be a husband, per se.
Which is the challenge if you think about a 60-year-old man who'd never been married. We've had our battles.
You know, we have our ups and downs and misunderstandings and everything, but we work through it.
We do.
And nobody's went to jail or the hospital to get sewed up or anything.
We haven't hurt each other, no.
No bullets taken out of each other or nothing. No. But, you know, we try to just enjoy life, folks, and that's what life's about. I could sit here and elaborate on my military career all day long, but, you know, I've been in the military 27 years, retired First Sergeant, 101st Airborne, 75th Rangers. I've had total of 4 years in combat, 2 in Vietnam and 2 in the desert. And I know some of you were thinking, well, you're awful young to be in Vietnam. Well, I went in when I was 16 years old. My parents signed the paperwork. I was born and raised in the Everglades, and what is down there for me? Nothing. You work cows for a living for your father, it gets a little old, you know. I had the accreditation already from high school to graduate and do it, and I did it. And I grew up fast. I grew up in a hurry. But with that said, I've jumped 369 times. I've done 5 halos. I've got a silver star, 2 bronze stars, and 3 purple hearts. I don't like to elaborate on how I got them. But I did my time in the military. I've been shot 3 times, stabbed 5 times, blowed up once. And I've had open heart surgery. I've had pacemaker. I got one of them in right now. I got 12 stents, 7 heart attacks, both my kidneys rebuilt. I mean, I walk with half a left leg, but can't see out of one eye. You know, well, it's the one I'm supposed to be looking out of when I look at her anyway. But wear hearing aids, don't have no teeth, you know, bald-headed. But I don't let it slow me down. I don't let it stop me. I don't let it, and I don't use it for an excuse.
No, you don't.
I do not use my disabilities as an excuse to do something or to go help someone. You know, like yesterday, we were sitting in a parking lot and I was waiting for Vaughn and Jeannie to come out of the store, and this kind old lady pulled up. She was putting her groceries in her car, and she walked up to me and asked me if I could pick up a case of water to put it in her car. You know how hard it hurt me to tell that woman after she approached me for help, to tell her I could not pick it up because I have a feeding tube in my stomach and hanging out. It killed me to tell her I couldn't do it. It really did. And I had to turn around and pray to the Lord and ask Him for forgiveness because I couldn't do it. You know? And finally I got a young man that was walking by to stop and help her though. But she was taken care of. But it's just the fact that I couldn't personally get out and do it when she came to me for help. You know, and it bothered me. But don't let the military career be your life once you're out, once you're retired. Get out and enjoy life itself in general. Learn your wives more. Learn more about your girlfriends. Learn to grow a bond better between the two of you. You know, I'm not saying you got to go to church every Sunday or stay away from bars or anything else, but start downsizing and limiting yourself. You know, you can sit up every day, every Sunday morning with a Bible in your hand, and you and your girlfriend or your wife, and have your own church. Read your own scriptures, you know, and talk about the good Lord Jesus Christ. It doesn't have to be fancy clothes and automobiles or anything else. The Lord doesn't care what you live, what you own, or nothing. He's not out for that. It doesn't matter to Him. So why people have to have it, I don't know. All He wants is your heart and soul, and you to be a believer. And with that said, I don't want to sound like a preacher, you know.
You know, one thing I want to add is that, you know, my whole career in working was in the medical field. I worked as a med tech, and I worked, you know, in administration. So when I married Gator, I didn't realize all the hoops you have to go through in order to get things done when you're a veteran. Fortunately, he's 100% disabled. He's able to go outside of the VA for specialty care. But in order to do that, his primary has to order it. Community care office then gets involved, and then they reach out to the specialists, and then, you know, it's like back and forth, and it takes a while for all that to happen. And whether it's medical supplies or whether it's oxygen or, you know, whatever it is, there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle to get it accomplished. And we don't have that in the private sector. I mean, typically your doctor orders stuff, you get it done. You know, they send it to the hospital, you go get it done. So anyways, thing I want to emphasize is that if you get a stumbling block in that process, let somebody know. I call the VA clinic, his local CBOT, and I call them and let them know what's going on, and they, put us in contact with the right people that can help us solve the problem and move it along. And it may take several phone calls to get that accomplished, and you leave messages because they don't answer the phone, and and they may not call you back right away. So you call again and make sure they've got your message. So
you have to be
persistent.
Persistent,
and
exactly.
Don't give up. If something vital to your care or your well-being, stay on it and stay on them and help them to help you to get done what you need to have. So.
And I can't emphasize enough how blessed I am that Jeanie has the knowledge, of medical, being from a medical background, in her workings, in her professional job, that I'm lucky enough that she understands what all these different tests are they run on me, all these different drugs they want me to take. Half the stuff I can't pronounce, half the stuff I don't know what the test is about until I ask her, and I get up in the mornings and I go, or maybe like Sunday or Monday, I'll ask her, okay, what do we got this week? She takes care of all my appointments. Yeah. She takes care of scheduling them. She takes care of ordering the drugs if I need them. She takes care of the hospice nurse and ordering things from her. Without her and her knowledge and her willingness to be able to step up and do that as a wife, and sitting in the same home and living in the same home, while I'm the one that's doing the i.e. suffering, and hopefully, God forbid it happen, eventually pass away. She's sitting here dealing with this every day and seeing me every day, not knowing if this is the last day she's going to pump food into my feeding tube or give me a pill or anything. And it's hard on her. It has to be. I couldn't imagine what her mind is going through and her feelings and her heart. I can only think. But it has to hurt her. And it's going to hurt her worse. But I think that once my day of judgment comes, of passing, you will know I'm in a better place. Yeah. You'll know I'm in peace and not hurting no more. You'll also know that you had that opportunity to spend with me.
Yes.
And we kept as like we always do. We did something different,
We did something different, but we did it together.
Yeah, we did it together.
And we do everything together. We have since we met. Whether it's repairing stuff, whether it's out having fun, we do it together.
I've never, at first I did in our relationship, I would take off and go to town without her and go do my own thing, i.e. hardware store or whatever the case may be. Now it's got to where as the years went by, I turn around and I say, nope, can't do it. Come on, you got to go with me. we do, whatever it is, we do it together. And we do it with a smile on our face, knowing that we're with each other. We love each other. We make it an
adventure.
Even if right now I go to the grocery store with her and I get on one of them little go-go scooters, and Jeannie's pushing the shopping buggy and I'm running around on a little go-go scooter with my oxygen tank in it, acting the fool. But we still have fun. We're still enjoying life. We're still getting out and doing things, regardless of what's going on.
Neither one of us ever, unfortunately, had children here, so we don't have that. We don't have grandchildren. So we have each other, and we have our friends, and we have our dog. It's a full life. Lord has blessed us, like I said, with a lot of friends and people who care and support us, and
They only come by for the food.
they only come by for the food. I don't think that's true. But you make life is what you make of it. For those of you that have children, it's a big job, and it's a big, it takes up a lot of your time and pulls you away from each other, and I've seen that happen, with my own sisters and and other friends, and it's a lot of responsibility, but you can't forget each other, and you married each other for a reason, and you will get back to that once the kids are out of the house, but in the meantime you've got to keep it going and just show how you care in little ways. It doesn't have to be loving and touching each other every minute of the day, just it's little things.
And it don't have to be go out and buy you a new Mercedes or whatever, or take you on a fancy boat cruise somewhere. I can go into town by myself shopping sometimes to get things she needs from the grocery store, and I'll just stop and buy just at the little flower thing in the grocery store, buy a little flower arrangement and bring it home and give it to her, and she's happier than heck, and knows that I love her and I appreciate her, and that's how I just, how I show it sometimes. And we have this saying, for those of you that never heard it before. We'll go throughout the day, and I say, "Hey, dear, I tolerate you today, darling."
Yeah.
And what that means is I love you, but I still put up with you, and learn to deal with you more. And it's a little thing we do. And the other little thing is if she take off to go to town and I'm by myself and she don't give me a kiss before she leaves, I yell back at her, "I hope you poop in your drawers on the way to town," because that makes her come back and give me a kiss, and tell me goodbye. But it's little things like that keep your life going and keep your love life going and your respect for your loved one going. You can come up with your own little saying or whatever, but I love her to death, and I always will. I mean, she's been a blessing to me.
As you have to me. Perfect.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. This has been a very interesting week. I don't know what I look like. I don't have a clue. I'm driving. But I'm going to tell you what, folks, you didn't know it, but I've been gone. I've been up in Gaylord, Michigan this week. And I'm telling you what, it has been a fantastic time. Spending time with Gator. I know a lot of first sergeants. And I've literally, and he is by far, he's like a big brother to me. I never served under him, but I'll tell you one thing, I would have loved to have. He was he's just a phenomenal, just a phenomenal human being. Not to mention, I could see why, he was great in the Army. He's highly decorated, so if you you'll probably see. I'll show some video or pictures or something there, some of his awards. And but anyway, I'm telling you what. Well, we're back here. We're in Myrtle Beach, and so we're just trying to see what happens here, and then go from there. Okay. Yeah, guys. Thanks for watching. All right. See you.